Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone, after our two and a half week hiatus. I am so excited to be back. I am back in studio, and I know for you YouTube watchers, it's like maybe not the vibe that you're looking for. I know you guys really liked the cottagecore vibe. However, for the podcast listeners, I am hoping that this audio is much cleaner, much crisper, much clearer for you guys because, the remote recording, while it was fun, it was cute for like the visual vibes. I know the audio was definitely suffering a little bit. But yes, I'm back from my trip. So if you guys are new here, I just did 3 weeks in Canada back home. I normally live in Australia, Sydney, Australia. I went home for 3 weeks to Canada to spend time with my family. And then off the back of that, I did a 2-week Europe trip with a bunch of my home friends, my husband, because one of our best friends from high school got married in Tuscany. So we did their joint bachelorette party in Croatia, and then a couple of days in Tuscany with some of my high school friends. And then their wedding was also in Tuscany. And then we did like 3 or 4 days off the back of our trip in Rome. So it was amazing. It was literally so much fun. It was definitely a break. I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to take a proper break. I would be thinking about work or keeping up with the news. And obviously I saw a lot of what was going on in pop culture and internet culture, but I actually was able to stay fairly offline. When you're just traveling and you're so busy, and we were around so many people, it was like a huge group trip. So there was just a lot going on, and I actually was able to switch off pretty well, which was great. But today, you guys, I have a giant recap for you guys. I could not pick just a couple of stories that happened over the weekend. There were so many major things that happened in the last 2 weeks. And Annabelle, who is, our content editor, she's the deputy editor of our whole brand, Centennial World. She messaged me yesterday and she was like, I've kept a running list of all the major internet drama, tea, trends, everything that's been happening. If you want to see it for Mini Scroll. And I was like, oh my God, can we just actually build this into tomorrow's episode? Because we can't do anything half-assed here at Centennial World. Literally, I'm like, you know what? How can we triple our workload? Oh, let's do a daily podcast. How can we make our first episode back light and breezy? Oh, let's actually give our audience 12 stories instead of 3. So that's what we're doing today. I have 12 stories for you guys. Okay, the first story that I have for you guys is we need to talk about the downfall of TikTok creator Be Better. So, little tidbit for you guys. I have been critical of the Be Better account for basically since he started, actually. Since he started making these downfall of videos. I think his first one was the D'Amelios. At least that's the first one that I saw, but I think that was the first one that he made, and it went absolutely viral. The reason why I was critical of it and why I'm critical of him and have been is because if you guys watched that video, if you listened to this podcast and then you watched that video, you probably had the same reaction. Because if you listen to this podcast and you consume internet culture, pop culture with critical thinking skills, I assume, I hope that's what I'm trying to get across with this podcast, right? That particular video, the downfall of the D'Amelios, he compared them to the Kardashians. He did not have any background knowledge or context on the Kardashians or even really the D'Amelios, but especially the Kardashians, to be making the comparisons that he was making. And immediately I was like, red flag, you are not an expert in this. And you might have, an MBA or this marketing degree or whatever he says at the beginning of every single episode. He went to Laurier, for anyone that's Canadian. And he says that he's the youngest Canadian to ever graduate from an MBA or something, but that's because Laurier's MBA program doesn't require you to have any work experience, whereas most MBA programs in the world require you to have, I think it's 3 to 5 years of professional experience, if not even more. Watching these videos, I'm like, okay, you might have this degree that you claim at the beginning of every video, but he doesn't have pop culture knowledge or celebrity knowledge to the level that he needs to be making these assumptions, these judgments, these opinions, these comparisons. And his takes lack so much depth. They lack nuance. They lack critical thinking. I think they're so surface level. So I'm not surprised that now people are starting to see through him. Okay, that was like a whole tangent. What I was going to say at the start of this was that I've been critical of him, like I said, from the beginning, basically. And I knew he was kind of beloved, and I didn't necessarily like want to make an entire episode off the back of his account because I mean, that's kind of mean, first of all, but also, you know, like I knew that he was beloved and that might not go over well. So the episode that we did about the downfall of commentary creators, which was like around the beginning of this year, that was inspired by his account. So I don't even know if we specifically mentioned him in that, but his account and the way he blew up was actually the inspiration for that episode. Okay, so at the end of August, TikTok commentary creator Be Better Company gained attention for his video predicting Kamala Harris's loss in the 2024 election. Known for critiquing the downfall of various creators, he promotes himself as a marketing expert with a quote master's degree in business. Given his focus on pop culture, many TikTok users found his pivot into politics a strange move. So people criticized his commentary for lacking research and echoing right-wing talking points, such as his claim that Harris was campaigning on a banner of identity politics, which is just not the reality. The situation worsened when TikTok user Brenna Perez went viral for revealing that Be Better Company, who positioned himself as an independent commentator, actually comes from a privileged background and seemingly has Trump-supporting family connections. Brenna alleged that his father's company, Airboss of America, has received millions of dollars from the Trump administration. Since the backlash, Be Better Company has issued an apology and has not posted on the platform since. So when he posted this video, he obviously was getting a lot of backlash right away, and he was defending himself in the comments, like he was doubling down in the comments. And then he eventually removed the video as it started to kind of like get out of control. I think all of this is really interesting because we essentially gave this very young man. He seems very young. I don't know. I could be wrong, but he seems very young. I'm going to say he's like at the most maybe 25. We gave this very young man this huge platform very quickly because he makes these like takedown videos that he frames as analysis or commentary, but it's not. Like I said, they lack a lot of insight, depth, nuance, genuine critique into the topics or the people that he's talking about. And they're very like surface level. They're like shock value videos, right? He has like the downfall of, and then whatever celebrity's name, and he knows that people are going to watch that. And I think that this is a really good example, just to like drive you guys back to that commentary creator episode that we did, where I feel like that is kind of the direction of that genre, especially with TikTok, like the rise of TikTok and how TikTok has changed the commentary genre and has almost like democratized it. The platform has made it so much easier for people to engage in that genre and to make their own content in that genre. And I think this is a good example of the direction of that genre and where I think it's going to be headed if we don't start, like thinking more critically about who we're supporting and the content that we're consuming and what they're actually saying and if they're actually saying anything. And that's how I feel about that. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is I'm going to break down Ethan Klein versus Moses Hacmon versus Adam McIntyre. So at the beginning of September, clips of Ethan Klein from a Content Court episode started circulating where he was coming for his brother-in-law, Moses Hacmon, who is, of course, married to Trisha Paytas. In these clips, Ethan called Moses a loser before criticizing him for going to his mother whenever Ethan or Hila speak about him publicly, even if it isn't necessarily negative.
Moses, if you're watching this, and I know you are, listen to me very clearly, you fucking loser. You're a grown man that cries and bitch and pisses to his mom every time I mention your name. Stop. I don't fucking care. I will never stop talking about you. You can bitch and cry and spit and moan every time to your mommy, because Anytime, and it's not even when I'm like mean. It's like anytime I talk about him at all.
While Ethan was definitely harsh on Moses, he went on to speak kindly towards Trisha, saying that he hopes they will reunite again one day. Of course, there is long-standing drama between Ethan, Hila, Trisha, and Moses, and it isn't just related to frenemies. Many social media users believe that it has more to do with Hila and Moses than Ethan and Trisha. Then Adam McIntyre. So Adam is a YouTube commentary creator, like drama channel essentially, and he was the main one to speak out against Colleen Ballinger. He was the one who made the video about her years ago. And then obviously everything that happened in June of last year was kind of off the back of his story about Colleen as like a fan of Colleen's. And then, yeah, obviously he was very involved in speaking out against her in her scandal last year. So Adam McIntyre later reacted to the clips of Ethan, where he alleged that Ethan only misses Trisha because her podcast is popular right now. He also said that Ethan was, quote, embarrassing and cringy. So this is where the back and forth really begins. The next time Ethan addressed this whole thing, he was with Hila. So she explained her side of the story, saying that Moses took a clip out of context and sent it to their mother, essentially trying to make her look bad. She also added that she will not reconcile with Moses anytime soon. This is what prompted Ethan to speak publicly about the situation. Ethan then moved on to criticize Adam for his response, calling him, quote, a little rat, and leveling allegations against Adam that he was, quote, creeping on and chatting up his mother. In a series of tweets and his own video, Adam went on to clarify his side of the story, saying that Ethan, quote, lied about me. Essentially, he said that Ethan's mother, Donna, initiated messages with him. Nevertheless, he went on to speak positively about her, saying that there was nothing going on that was like weird. Ethan later apologized to Adam, saying that he had been wrong about the creeping accusations. Imagine I know Adam has a big platform, and I know he is a very controversial figure, but imagine someone as famous, like internet famous as Ethan Klein, going on their platform and saying that you're trying to creep on his mother-in-law. No, I think Adam's also like 25. I can't. I have also seen a lot of people talking about like why Moses and Trisha won't address what, like when this was happening, why they wouldn't address what was going on, why they won't speak publicly about Ethan and Hila. And they're like, they've grown so much and it's clear that they're trying to take the high road. And I know that a lot of people don't actually feel that way. They think that it's because they don't want more, like Trisha and Moses don't want more heat on them. They don't want the controversies of like obviously Trisha's past, but especially Moses's past, the accusations of his stealthing and things like that. They don't want that resurfacing, so they just stay quiet. The next story that I have is that Brooke Schofield has made her return to the Canceled podcast. So Brooke made her return to Canceled on the 2nd of September after a brief break following the backlash over her racist tweets. In the episode, she and Tana reflected on how they handled the controversy. While some fans were happy to see her back, the overall response was quite mixed. Through the episode, Brooke was largely apologetic. Tana, however, faced criticism for wearing a t-shirt with the slogan, "Only God can cancel me," which many felt was tone deaf, and I agree with that, especially given the context of the episode, like Brooke's first episode back. She also described their situation as a, quote, damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, especially regarding their decision to have Paige, who is Tana's assistant, I believe, fill in for Brooke during her absence. So this comment left viewers feeling like the duo was deflecting blame from Brooke onto the audience, essentially. Others were happy they discussed it because Paige was getting bullied pretty heavily online for her participation in the podcast. Despite all of this, Tana made it pretty clear that, quote, no one is getting canceled off the Canceled podcast. So I guess Brooke is going to continue being a co-host. I know there were questions if, she wouldn't continue on. And I also have been seeing on Reddit that their Patreon members are not super happy because I guess that they haven't been posting, but they're still, like, the members are still paying. I think when you're a creator, you can turn off payments or like refund people. And I don't think that's been happening despite no content going up, but I don't subscribe, so I don't fully know. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is that Tati Westbrook has announced that she is sober. So after appearing on Michelle Phan's new podcast, Afterglow, Tati posted a video on her channel expanding on the conversation. With Michelle, she touched on a number of different themes, ranging from her career aspirations, bi sister, and staying sober. In a video titled I'm Sober, This Is My Story, posted on September 5th, Tati opened up about sobriety, her history with addiction, and experience with rehab.
I partied pretty hard in my 20s, nothing out of control, but when I hit my rock bottom, it happened fast. Like it all of a sudden one day became this thing where I was drinking right when I got up in the morning. My life had completely fallen apart. So let me start there. I was kind of a social partying drinker, had fun, whatever, a few wild nights here or there, and then everything completely collapsed out under me. I could not function in my day-to-day without alcohol to numb that void, to numb that pain. I just did not like being alive.
Through telling her story, she revealed that she overdosed in the past and had stints of sobriety before relapsing. She also said she is currently 8 to 8.5 years sober. That's really amazing. I don't know if we knew this about Tati. I feel like she's very she's always spoken a lot about like health and fitness on her channel, just as, something that she personally cares about. But I don't know if she's ever actually said like, I don't drink or, I'm completely sober. And I love that we're starting to be more public about substance abuse or even just like sober lifestyles, being sober curious, all of that. You guys know I'm very much in support of that. So yeah, I think this is great. Okay. The next story that I have for you guys is Nikocado Avocado has obviously, quote unquote, pulled one over on us and revealed a very drastic weight loss transformation. So perhaps one of the most viral moments that happened over Mini Scroll's hiatus was Nikocado Avocado's shocking weight loss transformation. Known for his over-the-top mukbangs and drama with fellow creators like Stephanie Sue, Nikocado Avocado has become a highly controversial figure online. In a video titled 2 Steps Ahead, posted on September 7th, he started by wearing a giant panda mask before unveiling his new look and announcing that he had lost 250 pounds. He described the transformation as part of a, quote, social experiment, explaining that he had pre-filmed his recent videos. Quote, today I woke up from a very long dream, and I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off my body. And just yesterday, people were calling me fat and sick and boring and irrelevant. People are the most messed up creatures on the entire planet, and yet I've still managed to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone. The joke's on you. This whole thing garnered a mixed response. Some users took his transformation as a reminder that there's often more happening behind the scenes, that not everything you see online and with influencers and stuff is as it seems. Others felt that the way he went about it only adds to fat phobia in the media, where he was essentially like exploiting his weight for engagement for the last 2 years, allegedly. So he told NBC News, quote, while everybody pointed and laughed at me for over-consuming food, I was in total control the entire time. In reality, people are completely absorbed with internet personalities and obsessively watch their content. That is where a deeper level of overconsumption lies, and it's the parallel I wanted to make. My opinion is that this was not him being 2 steps ahead. I think based on what we know about him, I don't think that this is genuine. I don't think that he was actually trying to make this meaningful parallel. I think it's obvious he did this for shock value and for views. Like, we know the type of person he is from the peers that he has in the industry who have spoken about him and had issues with him, and I believe them. Like Stephanie Sue, there's just been several people that have spoken out about what it's like to be around Nikocado Avocado, what he's actually like. Based on what they say, he seems very manipulative. Stephanie Sue said she feared for her safety after being around him. So I just think that this is like another example of his manipulation and his kind of like narcissism almost. And I also did want to point out the panda head thing. So he was wearing that big panda head like mask when his video started. And that is just such a dig at Stephanie Sue. If you guys don't know the everything that went down with Stephanie Sue, just Google it. There's a few articles and you can watch the videos. I think they're still up. Stephanie's boyfriend would appear, I don't know if he still does, I don't watch her regularly, but like he would appear in this panda head mask in her videos. And I think that was to maintain, oh no, the hardest word for me to say, anonymity. Oh my God, I said it right. Okay. I think it was to stay anonymous. But anyways, he would wear this. It was like a known thing. And then Nikocado coming on camera wearing that and being like, I'm 2 steps ahead. Everything over the last 2 years has been smoke and mirrors. People are like, is that him trying to allude to the fact that like all of his drama, it wasn't even drama. It was like, it was beyond drama, but like everything that happened with Stephanie Sue was like manufactured and fake. Is that him trying to almost like save face and turn this into like a PR moment for himself? And I just don't believe that was faked. Like I don't believe Stephanie Sue's reaction to him and her accusations against him were fake. And he's talked so publicly in interviews about how he does these like dramatic mood swings on camera. He cries, he screams, he's emotional on camera because the viewers like it. That gets more engagement. Like he's not like Mr. Beast, but like he's in the same, to me, the same category of like creator that creates for engagement purely, and all of their decisions with what they do online is about views and money as opposed to, you know, like actually creating content. Okay, so now for some tech news. X was recently shut down in Brazil following a legal dispute between the platform's owner, Elon Musk, and a justice on Brazil's Supreme Court. So this was particularly impactful for Stan Twitter, which is like one of the most like important parts of Twitter, you know, because Brazilian users not only manage some of the most popular celebrity update accounts, but they're also behind some of the most iconic memes to emerge from Stan culture, i.e. come to Brazil. So the last day that Brazilian users had access to X felt like, quote, a funeral within the community where many accounts issued goodbye messages to their followers. As for where many of the users will migrate, that remains uncertain. While some journalists and pundits have moved to Blue Sky, it's not really ideal for fan culture. The platform doesn't have trending topics and it's not widely used by celebrities. And I also recently read that they're like pivoting to video because I don't think that they're doing as well as they kind of thought they would. But yeah, this is just another example of how Elon Musk has absolutely destroyed Twitter. Okay, the next story that I have is that StassieBaby was spotted out with Noah Centineo, sparking dating rumors. Yesterday, Dumois reported that StassieBaby and Noah Centineo were spotted together on a night out at the Chateau Marmont in LA, reigniting dating rumors. So the pair were first linked back in 2020 after being seen together at a Halloween party. Earlier that year, they exchanged flirty comments on Instagram, with Noah commenting, quote, "Give me my damn jacket back, woman," on a post of Stassie wearing a Letterman jacket. Stassie responded, "What are you talking about? It's my jacket." So this would be the first person that Stassie's linked to since Jaden Hossler. They ended things earlier this year, but they were kind of like on again, off again for, I don't know, maybe like a year or two. So this is kind of random. I don't know. I saw somebody say, I think it was like maybe it was on Twitter, I don't remember. They were like, is Noah Centineo's like PR strategy, like is this like his team strategy just to like pay these like Instagram girls, like Hollywood it girls, to hang out with him because he's not booking movies? So like how is he getting these girls? So savage. Okay, the next story that I wanted to talk about, but I'm actually not going to share my opinions on it. I think I will wait. I might cover it like maybe Thursday. Is I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And as you guys know, I was highly anticipating this show because it combines all my favorite things. Mormon culture, I'm so fascinated by it. And I think a lot of us are. That's obviously why the show even exists, right? Like TikTok really blew the lid off of what it's like to live in Utah and like kind of how unique that culture is. So Mormon culture, TikTokers, and reality TV, like it combines all of my favorite things. It is so good. That's all I'll say. I want to give like a full opinion recap for you guys. And obviously today with my 12 stories, that is not the day. Today is not the day. But yes, I will cover it. But just know I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. The next story is that Lil Tay has reportedly had open heart surgery. So in recent days, there has been growing concern about Lil Tay's health following reports that she was diagnosed with a heart tumor and has since undergone open heart surgery. For those who are unfamiliar with Lil Tay, she first skyrocketed to virality in 2018 for her outrageous online persona. At the time, she was around 11 years old and made videos flaunting her lavish lifestyle. Later that year, she mysteriously vanished from the internet amid a bitter custody battle between her parents, only to re-enter the cultural zeitgeist upon the news of her alleged death. Less than a day later, Lil Tay confirmed in an interview with TMZ that she is alive and claimed her Instagram was hacked. In an interview with Rolling Stone, she alleged that the hoax was organized by her now estranged father as a, quote, last resort to sabotage her. So her family situation is just like so sad. So given this background, internet users obviously have been skeptical about the claims that she had this heart tumor and open heart surgery. Nonetheless, her team has been working to address these doubts by posting updates on her social media. Tay has reportedly undergone surgery with post-op images of her in a hospital bed being shared to her platforms. The latest update reads, "We are overjoyed to share that Tay's open heart surgery was a great success. We are deeply thankful to her surgeon, cardiologist, and the team who are the best in the world." This girl can't catch a break. I feel really bad for her. I hope she's doing okay. I hope if this is real, I'm going to believe it's real. I really hope that she can get through this, that she obviously comes out the other side, and that she can just like get away from the horrible people in her life. I think she has started to. I do think the death hoax was kind of like a turning point for her relationship with her family. It seemed, at least, like from what she said about her relationship with her family after all of that. But seriously, she cannot catch a break. The next story that I have is that Alexa Nikolas has come for journalist Kat Tenbarge. So this is quite intense and complicated. I'm just going to give like a high-level summary, obviously, for today. But last week, former child star Alexis Nikolas, who is best known for her role as Nicole Bristow on Zoe 101 and her recent appearance in Quiet on Set, accused journalist Kat Tenbarge of defamation. Kat is widely known for breaking the story of sexual assault that led to the downfall of the Vlog Squad. A few days ago, Alexa went live to share, quote, the truth about Kat Tenbarge, accusing her of being unprofessional and hypocritical. The tension between the two actually dates back to when they clashed on Twitter over an article that Kat wrote about Justin Roiland, who is the co-creator of Rick and Morty. He is facing allegations of domestic violence, grooming, and inappropriate workplace behavior. So Alexa questioned Kat's motives, suggesting she wasn't truly supportive of survivors. The conflict escalated when Kat began investigating Alexa's organization, Eat Predators, which claims to, quote, end the pervasive cover-up of sexual abuse and predatory behavior in the music and entertainment industries. Alexa claimed Kat was preparing to publish a defamatory article about her organization, though no such article has been released. Alexa soon faced backlash online, with many accusing her of sharing sealed documents from the Drake Bell case with Kat, something Kat later confirmed in a tweet. Alexa responded by denying that the documents were sealed, sharing images that allegedly showed that the files were redacted. YouTuber Adam McIntyre, who I mentioned before, was also dragged into the drama after Alexa called him out for defending Kat. He later made a video addressing the situation, revealing that Alexa's legal counsel is the same lawyer who represented Colleen Ballinger. Adam criticized Alexa, questioning why she would advocate for victims while hiring someone who defended Colleen, among other problematic figures. Okay, the next story that I have is that Liv Schmidt has been banned on TikTok. So Liv Schmidt, who is building a very controversial name for herself on TikTok, has had her account banned. Liv is a 22-year-old corporate worker in New York City who recently built a following of over 670,000 on TikTok by posting videos where she shares her basically devotion to staying thin. She posts videos about like not quote unquote like letting yourself go when you work a 9 to 5 and a lot of what I eat in a day videos. And people say that she is promoting disordered eating because she eats very little, or it seems like she is eating very little. The way that she frames her videos are very toxic. Like, she's very judgmental about people's weight, about how people eat. She uses really damaging language when talking about weight and her eating choices. So she has been very controversial for the last few months. She really blew up recently. Like, it's all very recent. It's like shock value content again. That's like the theme of today's mini scroll. It's like all these shock value creators, like karma is coming for them. So a couple of days ago, she was banned on TikTok. Now, the Wall Street Journal, just a couple of hours ago, they published this article. I'm going to read a snippet from it. They said, a TikTok spokesperson says Schmidt's account has been removed as a result of community guideline violations, but declined to be more specific. The morning after her account was taken down, Schmidt was confused and upset. She had not received any warning from the app about her videos running afoul of its body image policies, she said. She said she felt misunderstood. I'm trying to build a genuine thing, she said. So she's trying to get her account back, but she started a new account in the meantime. And this is what the bio said when she launched this account. It read, "It's not a sin to want to be thin. Saving America from obesity one person at a time." If that gives you an indication of how her videos were presented, the language that she uses, the shock that she's trying to stir with all of this. So I think people are happy to see this action taken. Like, I'm sure her account was being reported constantly because she was not just sharing like problematic dieting content. Like, it was like straight up bullying. So yeah, I think it is good that her account's being taken down. I know that TikTok can also, if they've taken down someone's account for something like that and they make a new one, I know it is very possible that her new account, even if it has different types of content, might be taken down. She did say that she will no longer discuss what she eats in a day or her grocery hauls on TikTok. You lost that privilege, she said, while directing viewers to her other social media accounts in a new video. Okay, and the last story that I have for you guys, oh my God, I am so jet lagged. This has taken me like 3 hours to record because I keep tripping over my words and I'm so dehydrated from the plane that I'm having these like coughing fits. So if there's a lot of cuts in this episode, that's why. So I'm not like sick. I just have like a very dry throat. So YouTube is going to adjust its algorithm to restrict videos from being promoted to teens that idealize certain body types. So in an effort to help teens with their mental health, YouTube has revealed a new rollout for the platform. In a new blog post, YouTube says it is adjusting its algorithm to restrict videos showing a non-violent aggression and idealized physical appearances from being promoted to teenagers. It says this content may be, quote, innocuous as a single video, but could be problematic for some teens if viewed repeatedly. Quote, teens are more likely than adults to form negative beliefs about themselves when they see repeated messages about ideal standards in content they consume online. I think this is a great positive step. I hope that it's not just kind of smoke and mirrors. Like, I hope that they actually implement this well, because I think it would be really impactful, and I think Liv Schmidt should take note. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. That's it, the recap of the last 2 weeks, internet culture news. I'm sure there are some stories that my team and I missed, but I hope that that gave you guys a good recap of everything that happened. Thank you for sticking with me while I went on my hiatus. I am back now. I'll be back in your ears Monday to Thursday mini scroll and Friday's deep dive. So, as always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. It means so much. It helps me grow. I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.